Have you ever felt like you're just spinning your wheels? You're putting in all this effort at work, at the gym, trying to learn something new, and you're just seeing nothing. It's so frustrating, right? It makes you want to just quit. But what if I told you all that hard work isn't gone? What if it's just being stored? To really get what that means, let's kick things off with a story.
So, picture this. There's a stonecutter, and they're just hammering away at this massive rock. One hit, then another. 10 hits, 50 hits, all the way up to 100. And after all that time and all that energy, the rock just looks exactly the same. Not a single crack. Nothing.
But then, they wind up for the next one, the 101st strike. And this one? Well, this one is different. And bam! Just like that, the whole thing splits clean in two. Now, of course, that's the moment everyone sees, right? It's the big, dramatic breakthrough. It's the success.
But that's the real question, isn't it? Was it really just that 101st hit that did all the work, or was it actually the 100 hits before it that made the final break possible? And that's the big idea we're diving into today.
So this whole phenomenon actually has a name. It comes from James Clear's book Atomic Habits, and he calls it the Plateau of Latent Potential. The idea is simple but powerful. All your hard work isn't disappearing. It's just latent. It's hidden. Every single ounce of effort is building up pressure, kind of like a spring being coiled, just waiting for that one moment to release.
And James Clear has this absolutely perfect analogy for it. He says, complaining about not achieving success despite working hard is like complaining about an ice cube not melting when you heated it from 25 to 31 degrees. All the action happens at 32 degrees. I mean, that's brilliant, right? All that energy you spent getting the ice from 25 to 31 degrees wasn't wasted. It was absolutely essential. You just couldn't see the result. Yet.
And there's a name for that feeling, that awful feeling when you're in the thick of it, putting in the work and seeing nothing back. Clear calls it the Valley of Disappointment. It's such a fitting name, because that valley is exactly where most of us get discouraged and give up, usually right before we're about to have our breakthrough. So that's the million-dollar question. If we know this is just a natural part of the process, why is it so incredibly hard to push through that valley? Why do we start to doubt everything?
Well, the reason it's so tough is because this external thing, the rock not breaking, the ice not melting, it kicks off a huge internal battle. It wakes up that little voice in our head, our inner critic, and it just starts feeding our self-doubt.
And to really understand that internal battle, we have to talk about something from cognitive behavioral therapy called central beliefs. Basically, these are the super deep down opinions we have about who we are, and they're usually formed from things that happened to us a long, long time ago, often when we were kids. And these central beliefs, which let's be honest are often pretty negative, they cause us to create these really strict rules for living as a way to kind of protect ourselves. Just look at these patterns here. If deep down you believe I'm not good enough, you might invent a rule that says, okay, then I have to do everything perfectly. See? It's not really a plan for success, it's a defense mechanism. And this is how we get trapped. It's called the vicious cycle of low self-esteem. It all starts with some tough experience, which helps form a negative belief. That belief creates a rule, which then triggers negative thoughts and feelings. And those feelings lead to behaviors that, and this is the kicker, end up proving our original negative belief was right all along. You're just stuck in a loop. So what do these self-defeating behaviors actually look like in real life? Well, it's things we all do sometimes, like avoiding a new opportunity because you're scared to fail, or becoming a total perfectionist to prove to everyone that you're good enough. These things feel like they're helping, but they're actually what's keeping you stuck. And here's the most devastating part of the whole cycle. It's so clever because it stops us from ever finding evidence that we're wrong about ourselves. If you never take the challenge, you can never succeed. If you never let people see the real you, you can never find out that they actually like the real you. The cycle protects the negative belief. Okay, but here is the big idea, the game changer. This quote from the NHS Guide says it all. The beliefs we develop about ourselves are opinions rather than facts. Just let that sink in. These things we hold as absolute truths about ourselves, that we're not smart enough, not good enough, not lovable, they aren't facts. They are just opinions, and opinions can be wrong. And that right there is the key. That's how you break the cycle. That's how you climb out of the valley. The moment you realize a belief is just an old story, an opinion, you suddenly get the power to challenge it. And if you can challenge it, you can change it.
So, let's bring this all back to where we started. Remember this? The work is never wasted, it's simply stored. This isn't just true for hitting rocks or melting ice cubes, it's true for the internal work too.
Every single time you challenge one of those negative thoughts, every time you try a new behavior that scares you, you are storing up energy. You are making a crack in that old false belief.
So maybe we need to completely reframe how we think about this tough period. Instead of calling it the valley of disappointment, what if we thought of it as the canyon of resolve? This simple switch in language changes it from a place of failure into a place where your strength and your resilience are actually being built. And that's what I want to leave you with. What if that plateau, that long, frustrating time with zero visible progress, isn't a sign that you're failing? What if those first 100 hits are actually the whole point? What if that's the real work, the process of forging the character and the resolve you're going to need for the moment that rock finally breaks?